A very good morning to you, my dear students. So, hope you all are healthy, fit, and fine at home and taking care of yourself and your family very, very well. Now, let us move on to our 1.3. I know I have jumped from 1.1 to 1.3. Why? Because first let us finish off all the poetries and then we move on to the prose. Okay. So, now here is your next poem. Have you ever seen? Let me read the poetry for you and then we will proceed towards its warming up exercise. Have you ever seen a sheet on a riverbed or a single hair from a hammer's head? Has the foot of a mountain any toes? And is there a pair of garden hose? Does the needle ever wink its eye? Why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Can you tickle the ribs of a parasol or open the trunk of a tree at all? Are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? Have the hands of a clock any left and right? Can the garden plot be deep and dark? And what is the sound of the bird's bark? By Anonymous. Anonymous means unknown, wherein the poet doesn't want to tell us the name of himself or herself. Okay, so this is your poetry. Now in your poetry, this lesson basically deals with two new terms, that is the homophones and the homographs. Okay, so let us see what are homophones. A homophone is a word that is pronounced the same as another word but has a different spelling and a different meaning. Now only the pronunciation is same but the spelling is different and meaning is different. Now can you see the two words? Flower, F-L-O-W-E-R and F-L-O-U-R. Now F-L-O-W-E-R means a flower, fool, that is rose, lily, marigold, jasmine. But F-L-O-W-R means what? That is the atta, the dough, which we make for chapati, we make for samosas, that is maida, that is the flour. So can you understand the meaning of the homophone? Only the pronunciation is same, meaning and spelling both are different. Okay, now let us see some examples of homophones, which I have solved in the form of exercise. Okay, there are two words, W-E-A-R, where, and W-A-R-E, where. Both are only pronounced same, but the spelling is different and meaning is different. Okay, one means the clothes and the other means the commodities. Similar way, the second and the third example is done for you. So please see that you yourself will do more 5 examples of homophones. Okay? And those examples should be done in your notebook. Clear? Now let's move on to the next meaning, that is the homograph. Now what is homograph? Now in homograph, the spelling is same, pronunciation is same, but the meaning is different. Okay? Please try to understand, my dear students. In homographs, the spelling is same and the pronunciation is same, but the meaning is different. Let us just see the exercise of homographs. Can you see? B-E-A-R, bear, bear. Two ways it is used. In the first sentence, bear means an animal. In the second sentence, bear means to tolerate. Second one, you see an simple example. The word is bat, B-A-T. Now this bat in the first sentence is a living bird. Okay. In the second sentence, it is the cricket bat which we use for playing. So similar way, my dear students, you are going to write more 5 examples of homographs. Okay. Hope this is clear to you. Now, let us next move on to the poetry part. Let us go stanza wise. What is there in your poetry? Now, first is, now, your poetry tells us, have you ever seen a sheet on a river bed? Now, river bed, this is the river bed. Okay. And the river bed, what does it mean? Sheet, here it means trying to tell you as a sheet of ice which is there, that they are comparing with the bed sheet. So is this equal to the bed sheet? No. Now let us see. In the first stanza, the poet talks about a sheet for a river bed. Okay. Now that means a bed sheet, but the river bed means the bottom of the river and has no relation with the bed. Now here the bed sheet has no relation with this river bed or sheet. They are just trying to compare. Okay. Sheet, S-H-E-E-T. Now it has two meanings. Now bed sheet, which we use it on our bed, and this sheet is simply something to cover. Okay. So this is the sheet which is usually on the river bed. Next it is telling us about the hammer's head. Now here the hammer's head is the top of the hammer's head, which is usually made up of iron or heavy metal. The top of the hammer is called the hammer's head, and the poet alternatively talks about the human head and refers to the hammer's head as hairless. Now what is trying to tell that human head has hair. Hammer's head, does it have a hair? No. But we usually try to say the hammer's head. So it is trying to compare the head of a human being and the hammer's head. But the hammer's head doesn't have a hair. But human beings have hair. Okay. This way they have tried to do a lot of comparison. Now next sentence they tell us about the mountains. Has the foot of a mountain any toes? Now if you say, we have always been studying that foothills, foot of the mountains. Foot means what? The base of the mountains. Will those foot start walking like human being? No. This is just a idea of the poem. Now next it says that, next the foot of the mountain means the base of the mountain and has no relation to the human foot. Hence, doesn't have toes like human foot has. Okay, it is being compared to, like foot word is being compared to human foot and mountain foot. Okay. Next, let us see the wings of the building. Now, do the buildings have wings? No. But when the buildings are divided into certain sections, we call it as A wing building, B wing building, C wing building. You must have seen in many addresses. Okay. It is usually said that the buildings are divided into wings to be easily defined. A wing, B wing. But does it mean that the building will start flying like wings? No. So here in the second stanza, the poet refers to tells us about the building that can fly. Okay. Let us move to the first line which I missed, that says that the eye. Does the needle ever wink its eye? Eye means the passage from which we enter the thread. That is called as the eye of the needle. Now, if you check, does the eye of like a human being takes care or winks? Winks means taking just one glance, like with one big open eye and one small open eye. Okay, that is called as winking. Now, the human eye does that, but will the needle's eye do? No. It is just an metaphor or given to the needle's eye. Needle that is having a particular passage which is called as an eye. Okay. I have already explained the wings. Let us now move on to the parasol. What is a parasol? Parasol is basically an umbrella. And what do you mean by the ribs? The metal ones, what you can see, which is the framework of the umbrella, are called as the ribs of the umbrella. That is parasol. Now they are trying to compare, saying that the ribs of an umbrella are homographically spoken about as if they are ribs of the human body, which can tickle. Means gudguli hona. It is like it is compared by the ribs of the human beings. If we tickle to the human beings, is that tickling going to affect the umbrella? No. But it is compared. Okay. Then let's move on to the next, that is the trunk of the tree. What does it say? Or open the trunk of a tree at all. Now trunk in English for another meaning also mean like a huge wooden box which is in the olden times like a huge baksa जो कहते हैं wooden का baksa. In the olden times important documents, clothes, heavy metals were stored. So it is trying to compare this particular tree trunk with that storage trunk. So they are saying that whether it will open like the trunk, no, but it is the tree which has a huge bark which we call it as a trunk. Okay. Next, we will move on to the rake. Rake is a garden instrument which has teeth-like structures. Now, what does the poet wants to tell us? In the last stanza, the poet has made a reference to the teeth of a rake, which he compares to human teeth. And he questions whether they can bite like human teeth. No. Now, these teeth are compared to the human teeth. Now, human teeth can bite. But this can bite? No. Okay. Next, it moves to the clock. Now, clock has has 2 or 3 hands. Okay, one is seconds, one is hours, and one is minutes. Now, these are just hands which we call for the needles of the clock. Now, do these needles of the clock have right hand or left hand? No. But human beings have right hand and left hand. And that is the way it is compared. Next, it goes to the garden. Now, garden plot. What does it say? Can the garden plot be deep and dark? Now, here they are trying to compare that. The poet is asking that. He asks if the garden's plot can be dark and deep like a story's plot. Means in the stories, there are sometimes darknesses, there is sometimes depth. But in the garden plot, is there something like that? No. Okay, this it is comparing with the human psychology or human story. And last, again we move on to the birch. Now what it is saying? And what is the sound of the bird's bark? That means, finally he questions whether the bark of a birch tree, okay, can make a sound like a bark of a dog. Now your bark of a tree is compared to the bark of a dog. Okay, so my dear students, your poet has used a lot of comparisons. Okay, now let me tell you what do these basically comparisons are called as. Now these comparisons are basically a figure of speech which we called as pun, P-U-N. Now a P-U-N, pun, is a figure of speech where a form of wordplay uses multiple meanings of a term or similar sounding words for humorous effects like homographs. Okay, in homographs what is it? Pronunciation is same, spelling is same, but the meaning is different. It is also making the use of the homophones. In homophones what is it? Pronunciation is same, but spelling and meaning is different. So the whole poem is basically based on 2 things, that is homographs and homophones. So my dear students, go through the poetry very nicely. Write down the poetry. I am going to send you the photograph. I am also going to send you the summary of the poem and the exercises of homographs and homophones. So please do this immediately, and later we will see certain next video of the same poem. We will see some figures of speech where there is interrogation, pun, personification, alliteration and repetition. And we will also try to learn how to write the appreciation of the poem. Okay, my dear students. So till then, take care, stay home, stay safe. Okay, bye.